I hope you're just as excited as I am to be here today. Fun fact that nobody knows, the last time I was in this building, I was on my way to the last floor to thank Dr. Jones and Dr. Kelman for all the wonderful work they did with me to help me get to graduate, and to thank them, and to specifically thank Dr. Jones for helping me get my first internship in a local biotech company that led to my wonderful career. So welcome everybody. Thank you for being here today. As we celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month, it's an honor to be here representing the Latino community. And today we'll have the opportunity to hear directly from local professionals and pioneers in their specific fields. And I encourage you today to engage in the discussion, ask questions, really be inspired by their stories and how they overcome their difficulties, and how that can help you thrive in your own endeavors. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Dr. Kehnemouyi. Is the interim vice president and provost at the Montgomery College Germantown campus, and directs the college-wide STEM unit for the entire school. He holds a master's and PhD in mechanical engineering from the George Washington University, and a bachelor's in chemical engineering from the Tehran Polytechnic Institute. He's a registered professional PE since 1988, and in 1983, he joined Montgomery College Department of Physics and Engineering in Geosciences. He became the chair of the department in 1999, and he's currently college-wide dean for science, engineering, and technology. Well, thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much, Juan, for that introduction. It is my pleasure to welcome you to this forum, where we come together to celebrate and highlight the extraordinary achievements of Latinas in STEM field. Today, we stand at the crossroads of history and innovation, where the contributions of Latinas in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics are not just recognized, but celebrated as crucial drivers of progress and change. In a world where the boundaries of opportunities are constantly expanding, Latinas have been at the forefront of science and technology. Their stories of ones of resilience, determination, and brilliance, qualities that have not only propelled them to excel in their fields, but have also paved the way for future generations following. We are incredibly proud of our status as the first Hispanic serving institution in the state. The only HSI in the state. Though we have no majority ethnicity at Montgomery College, students who identify as Hispanic make up 29% of our student body, our largest ethnic population. The journey of Latinas in STEM is often met with unique challenges that are faced with courage and overcome with grace. This forum serves as a platform to amplify their voices, share their experiences, and inspire a new generation of young Latinas to envision themselves as leaders in STEM. In January, MC had the privilege of sending an alum and current University of Maryland student to Washington, D.C. to serve on a panel speaking to President Biden's Advisory Commission on Advancing Educational Equity and Economic Opportunity for Hispanics. Luiz Mata, the only student rep, described his personal experience, the challenges he and his family faced, and how he found his way to an education that has opened up opportunities that he could have never even imagined. You will hear from Luiz this afternoon, as he is one of our panelists here. At the college, we have started to offer a handful of our gateway classes in Spanish. We have several professors, student tutors, learning center employees, and counselors who readily explain concepts and review homework in Spanish at the students' request. As we embark on this day of celebration, let us remember that the achievements we honor are not just personal milestones. They are collective victories that enrich our communities, enhance our industries, and contribute to the betterment of society as a whole. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting the incredible Latinas who continue to shape our world through STEM. Together, we celebrate their past accomplishments, present contributions, and the limitless possibilities of their future. Thank you very much.
Buenas tardes. My name is Carolina Galliano, and I am part of the Hispanic Heritage Month Planning Committee. It is my pleasure to not just be here with you all and share this moment of pride for these amazing panelists that you're going to get to hear about, but I would also love to thank Sharon Anthony, the Germantown campus dean, who has been so supportive. We see the support. We get to have this event here on the Germantown campus and just represent our stories and get to hear them publicly, and that matters. So thank you. We also want to acknowledge all the help that we've received from facilities, from MCTV, my colleagues up there, and also the committee. And now, as I talk about the committee who's been behind a bunch of events, who have been just so collaborative, everybody bringing their talents together, I want to acknowledge Professor Penn de Martinez, who is here. She is a full-time faculty of computer applications and has been teaching at the college for a while. She also is she's teaching the Mi Gente Business and Computer Applications Learning Community, which is amazing. I got to meet one of the students in that business community. She just graduated last year, and I did not know that she was a student of Professor Penn de Martinez, but she talked about how a professor had changed her life just by the way that she received so much support and helped her just find her way in the middle of a really dark time in her life. And when she said Karen Penn de Martinez, I was like, of course, it's got to be her. So let's welcome her. Please come on up.
Thank you so much. So I am Karen Penn de Martinez, and I do teach computer applications, usually at Rifle, sometimes Tacoma. And this semester here, today I am moderating this wonderful panel and wanted to take a couple of minutes to talk about some of the work of the recently published task force report from the Hispanic Serving Institution Task Force. And you can get yourself a copy right here if you care to scan the QR code. A group of faculty and staff and administrators here at the college worked to put together an extensive report on how are we doing as serving our Hispanic population. By the way, we do in the report, and as you hear today, we do use the term Latine as a descriptor for people who are in that population, various terms that folks like to use. But you're welcome to take a look at the report. I'll just point out a few key findings that Dr. Kehnemouyi mentioned. We are Maryland's first and largest Hispanic serving institution. There's one other that has a few hundred students. We have more than 5,000 Latina students here. I checked yesterday, and we are now at 30%, more than 5,600 Latina students here at the college. The report made some recommendations about how we can better serve our population. One is to provide better disaggregated data so you can find out how are we actually doing, not just for everybody, but for the specific demographic groups at the college, and so that we can implement strategies that will make a difference, and you'll see a bunch of those in the report, specific suggestions. Also, increasing our recruitment of candidates for faculty, administration, and staff leadership positions. While we are just about 30% Hispanic among our students, it's more like 6% among our faculty. So that's an area where some improvement, we are looking for some improvement. And one of the other things that Dr. Kehnemouyi spoke about, that we're starting to offer more multilingual supports and resources, but we want that throughout all the areas of the college. So those are some findings. I'm a computer graphics person, so I had to give you a chart. I wanted to point out to you some of the majors that we offer here at the college. We have a lot of STEM-related majors. I didn't actually list all of them, but most of the big ones, or I consolidated some. But there is something I wanted to point out about this chart. So the yellow is what % of the students in that major are Hispanic. The blue is the students who are not Hispanic, although that could include what are referred to as foreign or international students who may be from Latin American countries. And then, at the end of the bars is how many students are in the majors that are on that line. And I wanted to point out to you the first two bars, which is where you're actually seeing large percentages of Latina students, more than the 30% population here at the college, but those actually are pre-majors. They're not the specific major that gets you the degree. So, for example, if you want to be a nurse or you want to do sonography here at the college, you enter as a pre-major, and then you have to pass through a number of requirements to be accepted into the program. And so you'll see that there are a lot of Latina students, 39% of the students in these pre-majors who want to enter those health careers. The 31% of our general studies STEM students are Latina. But then as we get into the specific majors that will actually get you the degree, you've been accepted into a program, or you have entered a program that leads specifically to a degree, you'll see the percentages are a lot lower. So that's one of the areas we want to think about as we answer questions today, and we think about what we can do as an institution to welcome and support and graduate students in some of these STEM careers. I want to quickly introduce our panelists who are going to be speaking with you today, going in alphabetical order here. So we have Cabrera Carnero, who is a physics professor here at Montgomery College. She has a bachelor's degree in physics from the University of Havana, Cuba, a diploma in high-energy physics from the Abdus Salam International Center for Theoretical Physics in Italy, and a PhD in high-energy theoretical physics from Sao Paulo, Brazil. And her research work includes a variety of topics and these are things that I sure don't know too much about, so I'm looking forward to hearing more condensed matter to models of fundamental particles. We also heard briefly from Juan Esparza-Trujillo, who is a senior scientific project manager at the Foundation for the National Institutes of Health. He is actually a Montgomery College graduate of our biotech program here, then went on to earn a graduate degree in regulatory science from the University of Maryland at Baltimore, the School of Pharmacy, with a concentration in pharmacoepidemiology, drug, biological, and medical device product development. And he works with developing medical devices, so looking forward to hearing more about his expertise in that. And he's also a coach in our Achieving the Promise Academy program here, which he'll give you some information about today, as well as a part-time faculty member here. Becc Jimenez is also a graduate of Montgomery College's biotech program and is now working, well, she went on to get a master's degree in civil and environmental engineering, as well as her bachelor's in civil engineering from the George Washington University. And she now works with the city of Rockville as a senior environmental compliance inspector, leading compliance programs for stormwater protection for the city of Rockville, helping with our environment. Luiz Mata, you heard Dr. Kehnemouyi mention. He's a recent graduate of MC, finished his associate's degree here in computer science in 2023, transferred over to the University of Maryland. I'm going to go ahead and say it, with the full ride Jack Kent Quick Scholarship. Yeah. And he now conducts computational biology research over at the University of Maryland, and as we heard, has spoken at the White House about educational opportunities for Hispanic students. And Lucía Zegarra is the Community Impact Director of the American Heart Association in the Greater Washington region, is a biologist with over 20 years of experience, and she works in community development, so helping to implement strategies to manage hypertension, enhance nutrition security, reduce tobacco and e-cigarette use, and so basically strengthening the health and well-being of our community. And so I'm going to actually start out with a question for Juan to ask, how did your time at Montgomery College shape your journey into biomedical research? And what key experiences led to your current role as a senior scientific project manager at the Foundation for the National Institutes of Health? And tell us about the work you do.
Thanks, Karen. Appreciate that. What I would like to start by saying that it was really a combination of lecture and laboratory hands-on skills that gave me my start at being able to do my job correctly. But really, it was the interpersonal connections that I did with Dr. Jones, Dr. Kalman, that they instilled their work ethic on me. They instill the desire to advance biomedical research, not only for the betterment of companies, but also for human development and animal health as well. Really, that was the key component that led me to my endeavors to start my career. And I would say that throughout my career at the various institutions that I worked for, the FDA as a medical device reviewer, NIH as a medical device scientist, DOD as well, and regulatory science, and currently I am a senior project manager within the FNIH, leading public-private partnerships, and the two major efforts that I'm leading currently, and really help that I have been able to bring some of those interpersonal, work ethic and desire to help, people are in twofold. One is it's called Pediatric Medical Device Public-Private Partnership. I am creating a network of hospitals throughout the United States to facilitate pediatric medical device applications for early career scientists, like Luis, for instance, if he has a specific product to fix some sort of indication. Early career scientists don't know where to get funding. They don't know how to approach grants. they don't understand the regulatory process. So that's what I'm aiming to fix in a national stage. And my second endeavor, which is really close to my heart just because I have children of my own, it's the Bespoke Gene Therapy Consortia. I'm leading an effort to cure all monogenetic diseases with one therapy. We're using adeno-associated virus, AAV, to create a true platform where companies, pharmaceutical companies specifically, can use our template to just insert their specific fix to whatever gene they're trying to facilitate the production of the protein necessary to undo the disease. But I will say, to close out, really think about the connections you have with your community college professors. They're very different than when you go to a four-year institution or a graduate work. They truly care about you. They really want you to succeed, and they will be the stepping stone you need to be able to grow in your personal goals.
Thank you. I got a question for Becc. What made you decide to go into civil engineering after doing your biotechnology education here? And what advantages has that combination given you in addressing environmental and public health challenges?
Yeah, thank you for the question. So I had a true curiosity for mathematics and science. And surprisingly, there's quite a significant overlap between biotechnology and civil engineering. So biotech at MC is primarily focused on vaccine development, diagnostic testing. But in civil engineering, you're dealing more with infrastructure. And in my background, more wastewater treatment, water quality improvement, sewage treatment, and environmental sustainability practices. But the main similarities is that in research, you're dealing with a lot of bioreactors in biotechnology. You're dealing with process flow diagrams. You're dealing with instrumentation and controls. You're dealing with biosensors. And in wastewater, you're doing a lot of research as well, because you're always trying to make improvements to wastewater systems. You're always trying to make more financially responsible decisions as well. So what technology is out there that is more efficient, is more sustainable, can give you, some financial incentives. So there's a lot of similarities. So in biotech, you're looking more for aseptic environments, but in wastewater treatment, that sort of goes out the window. But it's very similar. You're dealing with the bioreactor and biotechnology, but in wastewater treatment, you're also dealing with the bioreactor, but on a much smaller scale and not as clean because it's wastewater. So there's a lot of similarities. And I think while my trajectory and my career is not exactly linear, you need to start getting creative about your career. So just because you start, I started in biotechnology, you may not necessarily think, civil engineering, but there is a lot of overlap. And I think as long as you figure out what skills you have, what can I use with the information that I have, with the skills that I've learned, with the education that I have, where can I apply that? There is a lot of overlap, and I was able to transfer it into civil engineering. More so, my focus being environmental.
Okay. Question for Luiz about your experience here with specific mentors, or you talked a little at the White House about what were your experiences at Montgomery College that influenced your decision to pursue mathematics and computational biology? And also, for the students who are falling a little bit behind you here, what advice do you have for them?
Okay, so I want to start off by saying that I guess at Montgomery College, one of the biggest assets you have are the mentorship opportunities. I believe that this was invaluable in my success. And I guess partially one of the reasons, or mostly one of the reasons why I guess made it as far as I did. I guess I was given a chance to, I guess, speak with professors one-on-one, like on a daily basis, and ask for advice, both on my classwork and on like side projects I was working on. And this really eventually made me into a better mentor. So then I started mentoring the younger students, or like, in my case, like early college students. And then I started tutoring people as well in the Maple Center. And this eventually just developed my passions more and more because I was discovering new things along the way. Part of the reason why I'm doing computational biology now is because I was in the STEM Scholars program, and they said, oh, here's like this internship opportunity. And then that's what started everything. It was like a snowball effect. And I guess my career aspirations are to one day become a professor and do the same for other students that were just like me. And I believe that the skill sets and the, I guess, everything MC had to offer has just prepared me so much for achieving this goal. And I guess my advice to other students that are curious about the work that I do or want to go into a similar field is to, I guess, do whatever you're passionate about, academics-wise. So I was interested in math, computer science, and biology. And I was like, I have to choose one, or at least that's what I thought. And I guess through the honors programs and all the classes I took, and as I spoke with my mentors more and more, I realized that there are intersections between all of these fields. So I guess just keep exploring and like stay curious. I think that's everything I have to say for now.
Thank you. And we'll hear also a little bit more about the Maple Center, and we've got folks from the Maple Center here to talk with you out in the lobby. I will just mention that when we are done, if you would like to speak with our panelists today, you'll have an opportunity to talk with them more personally. But I'm going to ask a question now to Lucía, and I should mention that Lucía not only does public health work that has an impact on the Latina community, but she is also a representative to the county executive, Mark Elrich's Latino Advisory Board. And so want to get a sense of how your educational journey from Montgomery College to your current role has shaped your approach to addressing health inequities throughout through community and healthcare initiatives.
So thank you, everybody. Good afternoon. Let me just walk you a little bit through my experience. Who from here plays video games? Come on, be honest, right? So sometimes, we have to make decisions whether we go left or right, and that's a little bit what happened in my journey. I am originally from Lima, Peru, and I was hoping to go to medical school. But in South America, during the time where I was growing up, I gotta keep it awake, it was very challenging for my parents to pay the education for multiple children. So I kind of put a hold on that, and I took the lead on my dad's company when he immigrated here. Fast forward a few years later, I moved to Maryland, and I landed in Montgomery College. And I saw a lady that looked like me, had curly hair. It's hard, curly hair is no. Evelyn Gonzalez in Tacoma Park, Silver Spring. She, I think, retired recently. She came to me and spoke to me in Spanish, and she basically said, hey, I can help you. I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I've never been to a college in America. What's going on? And so she was the one that sat down with me all the time, went through all the paperwork. And granted, I was in a German school, so I spoke multiple languages. English wasn't my first language, so I could hold my own. But it was just a foreign situation for me. And for me to have that support just basically paved the way for what's to come next. I met the amazing Kim McGettigan also in Tacoma Park, Silver Spring, who shared with me multiple opportunities to be the voice of students in Montgomery College I was part of the Student Government Association. I was part of the Latino Student Union. I think that's what we call them back in the day. And I really appreciated the support from Rolf Barber, who was the person who connected me to a homeless shelter where I did my internship. And that journey for me just gave me, basically cemented my leadership skills that I have brought from South America and catapulted me into my journey in biology. Now, I was, on my path to get my master's, my MD, PhD, or all the things, and I got pregnant. I wasn't expecting that. I had actually, a few years back, talked about, teenage pregnancy and all that. So here's with the video game, I'm trying to, where am I going next? I have a baby, and I'm in the last years to graduate. And I took a pause. And because I felt like my journey wasn't over, I started volunteering. I became a breastfeeding counselor. And with my baby on my hand, I used to counsel and do support groups in the community. And that led to a position in a nonprofit as a director of community health programs, leading the Montgomery County Food as Medicine pilot. So for me, that was just so important because we were given a chance to implement strategies to support individuals with diabetes, connecting them with fresh produce, connecting them with healthcare providers. And the key here was collaboration. So I started building those networks, collaborating with multiple providers, funders, and it was really important that that network knew that immigrants, with the amount of resources, information, education, and community health workers supporting them, could change. We saw 60% of our participants in the program decreasing their A1Cs. For those who know, diabetes, it's really prevalent in our communities. And that model basically became a model for multiple initiatives. Now, the County Office of Food Assistance and Resilience is putting emphasis on food as medicine as well. So it's just a matter of seeing how our community can change and how we can identify the resources and the gaps and the opportunities. Now that led for a position at Holy Cross Hospital, where I worked through the pandemic, and I led community vaccination clinics. And for me, it was very important because we're a small team and we didn't have anybody that spoke Spanish other than me. So I took it upon myself to go one by one, knocking on all the restaurants and the spoke Spanish. And for those individuals that had to work 2 jobs and didn't have the chance to leave their places of employment to get the vaccine. So our team brought the vaccines to Chicken Loco and Long Branch, for example, to Best Way. We went in there and I talked to the meat department, and nobody would do it, even in the county. It was, how do you guys do that? I'm like, I went in and I talked to them in Spanish. I explained that. And here's what was so important, the science piece, because I was a biology, and you remember that everything was changing constantly. All the information that we were getting from the FDA was changing constantly. So because of my background, I was able to turn that information, the research papers were coming in like hotcakes, and I was able to bring that to the community in a language they could understand so they can make the best decisions with their vaccine choices, right? Nobody knew what happens if I mix this vaccine with this vaccine. Well, here it is. These are your options, and these are the choices that you can make. So this led to my advocacy efforts in the community for Hispanics, which on the larger picture, the issues that we see across Hispanics and Latinos in the community also are applied to multiple communities, and all newcomers will always struggle, the same situations, language skills, opportunities. So it's really important that as minorities we unite and we look at each other and support each other. If we are able to go in somewhere, I always tell everybody, pull somebody else in, bring opportunities. If you're able to interview a potential candidate, make sure that there's opportunities for everybody that looks like you as well. Now with the American Heart Association, I went from direct services to implementing policy systems and environmental changes that are sustainable for communities in the long term. And this all put together is because of the collaborative approach that I started learning with the skills at Montgomery College and building those networks. So build networks, collaborate, and think about long-term sustainable future for everybody.
Thank you. So we will have a networking opportunity for you to start shortly, but I got a question first for Dr. Cabrera Carnero. Your academic journey spans several countries. So what initially sparked your interest in physics, and how have those international experiences influenced your research and your teaching?
All right. Well, thank you so much for having me here. I will start with my interest in physics because my interest in theoretical physics came later. So, I was like a very curious child, always asking why all the time. My mom will like get crazy and tell me, stop asking why, I don't know. Why is this like that? So then, I guess, of course, I was always observing everything. I was fascinated by stars and the universe. So I had the opportunity of like contemplating the night sky during my childhood. So that's where I fell in love with astrophysics, not knowing that that was something that I wanted to do in my future. But anyway, so my dad was an engineer and I was also a very curious person. I would like bring home constantly questions to us and challenge. One time he taught about general relativity. I was like 7 years old, and that thing fascinated me. So how is that clocks can tick differently in different places? How things could be so different in relation to how fast you're moving. So then that just stuck with me, and that's where I started to recognizing that that was a path that I wanted to follow. So I had questions, and I understood very early that physics would be the path that will help me to answer the deepest questions that I had. So of course, when I went to college, I understood that physics is basically divided into different fields. So you have theoretical physics and you have experimental physics. So during my college years, I realized that I was more like a math person. Well, not only there, so I was in my home country math Olympic team, so I love math too. But I realized when I was in college that I didn't like the experimental part that much, that I enjoyed more like dealing with equations and all that. So then that's when I decided that I wanted to pursue theoretical physics, and that's what I did all the way through. So I had a chance as soon as I finished my undergrad to go to Italy. So I won this scholarship from the International Atomic Agency to study theoretical high energy physics, and I took that chance, and there I met people from all over the world. So I didn't consider myself a minority there because all of us were minority, I guess, one student from each country from all over the world. So it was a diverse by default group, and that enriched me and helped me understand like situations all over the world, and grew my empathy for diversity, for different people, different cultures, different languages. And you also find the common thing that we all have, that is our humanity. So although we have differences in appearance, deep in our cores, we are all humans. And then it's very easy for us to connect when we are capable of removing that, let's say, fake appearance that we try to highlight what, at the end, what matters, what we have inside. So then after that, I went to Brazil just because I also had a baby when I was finishing my diploma, that is like the equivalent to the master. I got married, I had my baby, and since my husband was already in Brazil, I didn't want to have my family separated, so I had opportunities of coming here or continue my education in Europe, but I just didn't want to do it on my own and having my family separated. So I went to Brazil following him. And then there also, I learned a new language, I learned a new culture, I connected and I liked it. And I mean, I think that all of that helps me now to just like empathize with all my students that are also from everywhere. And it's easy for me also. Sometimes I have even students that are coming from countries, and if I speak that language and you are not capable of understanding what I'm trying to explain in my English, then I will be jumping to the other languages that I speak. So I think that, of course, English is my work.
Wonderful.